Hello, hello. And that was the musical stylings of wherever Gary got that piece of music.
I was more curious why there's two tech countdowns there.
And that was Tony Turner. So, yeah, also joining us this evening is Bronco in VA.
I mean, how do I follow Tony's input there? I really don't. I'm honored and privileged to be here with you guys tonight, and of course, you, Mr. Tony Turner, and his love for Liv Morgan.
Yeah,
Chubby Liv Morgan.
Out of interest, Tony, how do you think she would describe you after you call her chubby?
Don't care.
Okay. It's a fair question, though, on my part, I think. Because you do dish it to her a lot, so. Okay, very good. That was the trip tonight, everyone. We'll see you next week.
Take care.
Bye, everyone.
Life is a journey. Don't waste your trip. Enjoy the ride. There you go.
Oh, look, Tony's disappeared. Imagine that. Who could have made that happen?
Well, I don't know. Uncle Howdy.
It must have been Uncle Howdy.
Must have been. What's going on, man? What's a good word?
Or Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan may have done it. She may have used her political pull with Gary.
She put Dom up to it.
She must have. No, we'll let him back in. Despite his determination to wind me up.
Well, we want to know what Finn Balor did with the card. I want to see the security footage.
Well, I imagine he sexually assaulted her, Tony. I mean,
you're still going with that one.
Well, unless it's an elaborate setup, which I did suggest it was at the time. Hello, Brownie, by the way. Sorry, you're just coming on us talking shop more than anything. Because you may or may not be surprised to discover I had absolutely no plan tonight. Because all the other times Gary had left me in charge of his show, I'd have a plan of something to talk about, and Tony would always undo it. Therefore, no plan. It wasn't just Tony, to be fair.
It's not like much has happened in the Arsenal world.
It's really not. Is there any rumours?
Yep.
Ooh, I know one. They released a new training top that you can go waste money on. That's always good.
They finally released it.
I don't know. I saw a tweet about it and I was like, oh wow. That's something I'm not gonna buy.
Then again, it is a new month, isn't it? So
yeah,
that explains the release of an Arsenal piece of clothing.
I seen it about a month ago when it leaked out. Most people thought it was god awful. I kind of liked it. We are trying to get a striker for Napoli, which has been rumored for like 18 months now.
Which one is that?
The one that they won 125 million euros. Guess what Arsenal's first offers would be, Tom?
They want 125. The most Arsenal thing to do would be to offer 60.
Why would you offer 125? Because if you're willing to pay 125, Tony, why not pay 150?
75 million.
I start at 60.
I mean,
I negotiate for a living, Tony, so I would never start at what my competitor wants. So
I don't know, but the player wants to leave, so
okay. Start at 60.
So what?
Force his hand. We got till August 31st to figure this one out, right?
So would you really offer the 125 4 months before the transfer window ends? 2 months, sorry. No, actually, how long would you? 3 months? Two and a half? I don't know. Maths ain't my strong point. But the point is, Tony, you sound like you're going to go into a shop 17 hours before it shuts and then try and buy a pot noodle for 20 quid when it retails at £1.
July 15th would be probably my cutoff on signing people.
I've also got the Arsenal misfit. He's working right now, but he's listening and Bramley with. I said it once, and I'll say it again. Apart from Mbappe, the window will be dead. Dead.
He'll come alive at some point.
Nah. No,
He's
but
probably-
the fees will be lower.
Yeah, he's probably right. It's not going to be as rambunctious as last year, or years past. But Arsenal will sign probably at least 2 to 3 players. Now, whether they're 60, 70, $80 million players is another discussion. I do think there is concern with the financial future of the game as far as what the rules are going to be. Contrary to what YouTube wants to see, and there are a lot of concerns, I think, in there. But again, you never know, man. Like I think I was texting Tom, maybe it was Saturday, Sunday, one of the two. The days all run to the same. It was like someone's going to get a transfer bump from the Euros. It always happens.
Yep.
An international tournament happens. Someone's a darling for 6 games. And next thing you know, their price went up 40, 50%. And someone's like, I've got to have that flashy toy.
El Hadj Diouf springs to mind. And I know that name might seem like really foreign to use, but basically, he had a breakout World Cup for Senegal in 2002. He was like their best player. Liverpool bought him, and I think he scored 1 goal in 2 years. But he would have been worth next to nothing before the World Cup. But they literally bought him because of his performances in the World Cup. And then I think he was ran out of the club in disgrace after spitting at a Celtic fan, something like that.
It's just crazy. A lot of those players, they still just like play balls out for the international team and the club, but just play with a handbrake on.
Because, I mean, that's your first love is your country. Your club is your paycheck. We love Arsenal, but how many guys, and I'll even throw Leeds in this too, because we could put it, insert club name. How many guys are really truly willing to die for? They're not, man. Like people sign up to go to the military for their country. Like that's their first love. Like it's kind of like your mother.
I actually think it's reversed a bit. Like what you're saying, I think more applied to like, I don't want to say old football, but say like the 80s, 90s. I think more applied then because there was the prestige was a lot higher of international football. Like, for example, all the best managers, arguably, were in the international game at one time. Whereas now, you're getting the managers that basically just, they can't get a job in the club game, or they don't want a job in the club game, or something like that. But as I was initially getting at, I'll go on, Tony.
As I say, they're usually like assistants or further down the pecking order.
Like Mourinho, if he was worth his salt, he would have took the Portugal job at some point. But he hasn't because he's getting serious money to be in Turkey, for example. And that's not fair to say that because obviously that Portugal job will be open probably after this tournament because there's usually a cycle where it changes and stuff like that. But I would argue the club game is very... I think the players have a more affinity for the clubs now because of the extortionate money that they get to play for the clubs comparatively. Like you probably get paid more to play for a football team now than at any point in human society comparatively. Like I'm sure players in 1960 were paid well compared to 1960. But with inflation and things like that, it's probably not even close. So
What do you think the average is? Probably 120,000 a week.
what right now?
Yeah.
Lower, 60. I mean, but you're also an average. You're talking when you talk average. I mean, probably closer to 30 a week because you got to think about the League One, the League Twos, the lower leagues, the guys that aren't making much
I
at
was
all.
talking about Premier League, not just...
Yeah, I'm like the guys
30,
that are playing
40.
in the England team, for example, are probably before tax probably getting 200 grand a week, probably, maybe. Eddie Nketiah is on 100 grand a week, and he can't fucking get a game. So imagine what these 11 lads are that are playing week in, week out, and Calvin Phillips. But I guess my point is more, I think the gap between the willingness to die for your country and to die for your paycheck is actually a lot closer than it was at any point previously. In footballing terms, I mean, not military terms, that's ludicrous. But
I think you're right, but also don't know how many people are really willing to like put it all out for their club game also, because it's easy to pull up with a hamstring injury and all of a sudden you can sit on the bench for 4 weeks too. So maybe the affinity for the game is just a job. I guess this is where you're definitely right and where I might be a little wrong on this when I think about it, but also they intertwine with each other. The argument is that football is now more of a job than it was a passion. The amount of players that are actually, now granted, people work jobs and enjoy their passion, but I mean, how many of these guys would legitimately go play for nothing? I don't know how many. I'm sure.
I would argue though, once you've got paid to play football, why would you go back to playing it for free?
Well, my argument is that you lose all your money. You have nothing. If it was like, this is the job you're going to do and you don't make anything but what, you know what I'm saying by this? Like if we were to take all the money away, I mean, once you make your money, like that's why the guys go to Saudi, right? Because they make the money and they don't have to worry ever again. But it is an interesting discussion because, again, we're also talking about a perception of players vice what we truly know, right?
It's why I feel like
how many players do you...
Tony, hold on one second. Let Tom go. Go ahead.
You're talking the elite level, and they will die for their clubs to maintain that contract, that wealth. That's why I think it has changed slightly, because generally you don't get paid to play for England. I know there are fees and stuff, but they generally do donate those. So, apparently, from what I've heard, they donate to charities and various things like that. Because again, they earn so much money that they don't actually need the money. And I'm being facetious when I say that, because no one ever not needs money. But sure you get what I mean when I say that. Like they are. But you're planning to maintain, like in the Premier League, you are busting your ass as much as possible. Because if you're not, someone else will, and then suddenly you're not getting the 200 grand a week contracts. Then you're in the Championship.
Yeah, or your team gets relegated,
Yeah. So you have to maintain those levels. Where if you don't for England, you're in Nations League B. Or you get chanted at by fans, or you like the Sun newspaper write bad articles about you. I'm not saying that's not nice. I'm sure it's awful, but at the same time, it's like,
yeah.
How many players do you think there are like Ben White that don't really love football?
That's funny you say that, Tony. A couple of years ago, no, it's a lie. Last year or something, we did one of these shows. No, we were doing the road trip and Gary had gone away from the computer. So me and Sam were talking. I found an article, 10 players that don't like football. And it was because of the Ben White interviews had come out. Now, I knew this stuff because when he was at Leeds, we knew he didn't watch football. So this wasn't a new thing for me. Because he openly, was saying in Leeds documentary and things like this, doesn't watch football outside of football. It was something we all knew. So, yous were all like, he doesn't watch football? And people are
I
thinking, "What?
remember. I remember it coming out right before he signed with us that he didn't.
You saw it when he ran into the ring in his red shoes, did you? Anyway, but no, in all seriousness, but yeah, we went through a top 10 players that don't like football, and some would surprise you. Off the top of my head, Tottenham Hotspur's Benoit Asu Koto, I think his name is. He didn't like football. Turned out to be all right. But again, shows that for some people, it's a means to an end. It's something you happen to be good at, but it's not something you like, you enjoy. To be fair, to a lot of players, I'm surprised more players don't like football. Because there's a lot of things about football that are shit. At the end of the day, right, in the last 5 years, 4 of those years, there's been 19 teams that ultimately end up unhappy. And one team, which is the one that is currently being investigated for 115 times, I'm not sure if you knew they were being investigated for 115 times, in the same way that I don't know if you knew that Cody Rhodes was Dusty Rhodes' son.
Or Spencer's an American.
Or Spencer. Did you know? I thought Spencer was English when I first met him, but it turns out his big American accent was not an impression of Tony. But anyway. But yeah, again, I forgot where I was at now because I pivoted towards the Spencer and Cody and Tony and
Footballers that don't.
Yeah.
Footballers that don't like football. So.
Just a thing, isn't it? Oh, hang on. Just want to say hello to BX Gunner. Hello, sir. How are you? Brownie thinks it depends on your passion for your country. Iraq war damaged patriotism for at least a generation. Illegal wars tend to do that. And Bobby Zamora openly admitted he didn't like football.
So Tom, think about this: the footballers you're talking about, that age bracket. So the premier players are in the ages 20 to 30. Think about where you are mentally as a 20 to 30-year-old and how you see the world differently when you're in your 30s to 40s. So they also, at that age, there still is a hope, right? And you got to think about the hope, right? You're making 40, 50 grand a week. Your meals are taken care of. You can get whatever woman you want for the most part. Life's great. You're not really worried about ideals and stuff at that point. Everything is taken care of. You think it's never going to end. But when you're 30s and 40s, life just changes. So I think that also plays a factor into, because like you said, like, why would anybody be happy finishing behind those guys? I mean, I was watching Belgium today and I was like, I'm sure KDB would love to have some of that Qatari money right now to help him score a goal, but he didn't have it there. And neither did Doku, who we'll get into him later. But
I mean, more the fan bases like behind those clubs. Because it's the nature of sport, isn't it? You have someone wins and someone doesn't. But when I say someone doesn't, it's usually a lot of people don't.
Yeah.
Because there's only one winner, but 19 losers. And I know Gary says there's levels to this, and the success, like I'd argue Brentford not getting relegated every year is a success.
Yes.
But in the context of sport, eventually there'll come a time where they're like, why aren't we doing better?
I mean, that's why I think at the end of the day, Tom, you're chasing trophies. Like, I feel like that's fleeting, especially for fans, because at the end of the day, your club wins a trophy. They don't send you a fucking replica of it. They don't do a parade for you. Like, your moments following your teams are those random Saturdays where you beat United 3-1. Leeds, you had that moment against Man City a few years.
Sorry, when you beat who 3-1? Sorry,
Man United.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. But you know what I'm talking about? The day y'all beat Man City. Like, those are the moments you remember. I mean, the trophies matter, but
that was one of the greatest Saturdays of my life.
But that's my point. Like, you'll remember who you texted. You remember what the moment like. I go back to the Bournemouth game last year.
I urinated myself out of shock.
No, this time.
It's not true. It's not true.
So, like, we'll just go back to that Bournemouth game with Reece Nelson walk-off. I have a buddy that was in the stands. He was in Virginia and happened to catch a flight over there to go to a game and got a ticket and got lucky. Like, he'll never forget that moment. I was on downstairs celebrating with my wife and kid. Like, that's the stuff that I watch sports for. I mean, the trophies matter, but if I can't put on my CV that I'm a fan of such and such, and they're all of a sudden be like, you know what, we're going to hire you because you're an Arsenal supporter and you guys won the league. I mean, sometimes you just have to reevaluate. I mean, look at the moments. I mean, even the Scottish fans, the disappointment they had Friday, they still had fun drinking and hanging out. The English fans everybody's having fun at this tournament. You want to win, but it's about the moments too, man. So you got to balance out the winning with the moments. And if you lose sight of one and put one above the other, it just doesn't make sense. What are we doing this for?
I want to say hello to Colonel Ward, who has said he doesn't like football. He likes soccer.
You forgot an extra C in there.
Yeah. And there's these new age internet trolls that push standards. You did this. You fucking got Jez in here. You cheeky little fucker, BX Gunner. You absolute sausage. I vividly remember you telling Gary, man, bring Jez in. Bring Jez in. It'd be great. It'd be great. I'm exaggerating what he said, but still. And he knows it. You cheeky little fucker. Pardon my language, everyone. But still, miss out on the joys of watching. But yeah, they are. Don't get me wrong. Everyone has the right to their opinion on football. But at the same time, if you want your team to lose, what the hell are you doing? If you're happy your team lost because it proved you right, go fuck yourself. And that's you, Tony, because you fucking did that. Go fuck yourself, Tony.
What did I do?
Lost to Aston Villa.
What did I do?
Lost to Aston Villa. It's like, oh, I knew this was going to happen. Yeah, your football team lost. No one's undefeated, are they? All right, Arsenal in 2004. But even then, you lost to Chelsea in the quarterfinal of the Champions League. Like, you weren't perfect. No one's perfect. It's elite sport. It's very difficult to be perfect.
I got
I think we said
12
it
points like 2 years ago going to Aston Villa versus Arsenal.
two teams.
Team.
The history of the English Football Association have gone undefeated in the top level. Preston North End and Arsenal. That's it. 160 some seasons or whatever it is. It just doesn't happen. You're going to lose a game.
Teams. No, it's still impressive, however way you slice it.
It's kind of like it's like with Dolphins getting fucking drunk every year. It doesn't matter. We don't play 14 games a year anymore.
I will come back to your comment, Brownie. Yes, wanting their teams to lose just to say I told you so. Because being right is more important than being happy, and I find that infinitely sad.
That's one of the big... Dude, so that's one of the big devices in marriage. Do you want to be right or be happy? And the whole thing is like happy wife, happy life. Well, no, you both have to be happy, but at the end of the day, you have to pick your battles. So being right for the sake of your happiness, it's just fucking weird, man. Because at the end of the day, great, you're right, man. Put that on your resume and put it on Indeed.com and see who hires you.
The only people who don't have that mindset, Spence, is the Nigerian football fans on social media. They do my head in. I kind of get what he means, right? Because when they come out of the woodwork on, I don't know, the BBC Match of the Day page, and I don't want to, I want to be careful how I say this, because they have no less right to support a football team than I do, regardless of location. Because I don't support my local team. So I can't insult them for not supporting their local team. But at the same time, it's like, would you be supporting Man City if certain factors were not in play? or just admit that you only support Haaland, whoever he plays for. So, because like European football, social media has created an NBA-like atmosphere with football, as in you support the stars, not necessarily the teams.
Yep.
But
I almost want to blame FIFA for that.
That's a fair point, Tony. It's more than a fair point. You're right. It's that has perpetuated it as well. I'm not saying it's wrong. It's just a very much a culture change. Like, you generally don't get that in England. So to me, it may be strange. But like people that followed Michael Jordan for years, this would be normal. And I suppose like those people that were like, I'm Cristiano Ronaldo, I'm Messi.
Yeah, I do wonder, like, because that's why I don't really follow the NBA, because I've been an Orlando Magic fan since the 90s. But of course, when I was a kid, the Magic would go with Shaq and Penny, and everybody was a Bulls fan, and I was always the guy that wanted to go against the contrarian, so I picked the team that was second best for some reason.
Like, you're a contrarian?
Oh, who would have thought it? But here's the crazy thing about that. So Shaq and Penny left, and then I stayed, and then Dwight Howard showed up, and then it was really real. It was a real rude awakening in the late 2000s when LeBron was at Cleveland, and all of a sudden he goes to Miami, and all these people that like Cleveland followed him, and I was just like, what happened? So I just kind of stopped watching it, because it just, unless you're a Lakers or Celtics fan, and not, like I said, I'm not knocking, because I know you're a Celtics guy. I'm not knocking this. I just think I've always had beliefs that in the NBA, for example, there's only certain teams.
I'm also a Celtics guy.
But there's only certain teams that are going to win titles. They're not going to let certain teams win because they don't like that market. They love to have LA, New York be relevant. The NBA is a social media game. It's all about reactions, dunks. But yeah, I mean,
no, sorry, it was rude.
Think about, but I'll hand it back off to you. But think about a lot of people, unless you like somebody that's local. I think like America's different than England, obviously, in the sheer fact of our size. So for me to go to Washington, D.C. is about 3.5, 4 hours. So that is the closest pro franchise in any sport. 4 hours away. I mean, that's what, half the United Kingdom in some spots, right? So, and how many clubs could you hit?
United Kingdom.
But like, think of how many clubs you could hit in that. So it's just a different thing. And like in the socioeconomic classes are a little bit different at times too. The United States, like if some of your parents could afford to take you to a pro team, people like Jez's era, it didn't cost much to go to the Arsenal, right? Like it was a different time. But so when it comes to Brownie and his comment there, I know what he's talking about, and I think we could really. You can just peg all of social media in that. And my favorite one is the guy that tweets at you, and he's got a picture of Rashford, and that's all he's got on there. And you're like, you could be a 14-year-old kid living at home with your mom and dad. Why am I going to talk to you? Those are the people that irritate me more on social media than like the crazy football fans. The person that has the fake profile picture. It is what I'll hand it off to you, Tom.
No, that's very that's fair, very succinct. Like I say, I don't want to insult. It sounds like the instinct for me is to like go and insult African football fans, which is not what, because I'm not. How can I do it? I support Leeds and I live in London. Like, who am I to tell someone in South Africa that they can't have an opinion on Arsenal? But their opinions on Arsenal do tend to be bollocks. Like, you can't. I'm not going to say you can't have an opinion, but I will say that your opinion tends to be shit. But then who decides what opinion is shit? Just because I don't agree with it or whatever. But speaking of shit opinions, Tony, tell us something.
Well, I was thinking about this one other day because, like, as a kid, like baseball cards and other sports cards were still like a big deal. Not so much now, but you would have like your favorite players, so you would kind of support that team. So you'd have like 4 or 5 teams that you liked, but you probably still have a 1 or 2 that you love. That's because you were following players.
Well, like I've probably told you all this before, but the reason I support certain teams in America is because of 90s video games, because they were the teams I played as, and obviously I'm not going to change it. Like I like the Detroit Red Wings, obviously because I was a kid and they were one of the best teams. Like, fuck it. But the fact of the matter is, they're not good now. But I still look out for their results because I am a prick, but I'm not a prick in that way. Like, I'm not gonna fucking go, oh, now I support the fucking Colorado Avalanche because they're really good or whatever. Or no, Panthers. Did Panthers win the NBA?
Panthers will
NBA?
probably win it tomorrow night.
Yeah. But generally, like, for example, I like the Green Bay Packers in the NFL for the simple reason I created my character on Madden 09. I got entered into the NFL draft, and I was drafted by Green Bay Packers. So in theory, my American football fandom was literally in the draft lottery. I don't actually know, because I never really made another character or tried again. So I have no idea if you always got Green Bay, or if they gave you someone else, if you did it again, if it was truly random. But it is what it is.
Madden 09 was based off of Superstar mode, right? You had to do all the drafts and all that stuff. Yeah.
That was the one. Yeah, that was the word for it. Because you had John Madden himself actually running you through the plays in the training modes and all that. But Bits Gun says, this new NBA is much different. You have the Raptors, Nuggets, Cavs, and Warriors winning titles. That never happened in the 90s and 2000s. I think that's fair.
It's weird how often the small market teams win now. It started with the Spurs. And the thing now is these players have so much power that they sign these 1 or 2 year contracts and then just move on to another team. So it's hard to,
Bromley,
if you like him and he's on your team, it's kind of like fucked up when they leave within a year.
So yeah, I was gonna say, like, I think another thing that makes me laugh a little bit is like the people that go and buy hats just because they like the logo. Although I'm kind of like probably throwing egg at my own self because I do own a Florida Panthers jersey. And I bought it on eBay from a guy that sells legit hockey jerseys. It was $14, and it was their old logo. And I was like, I got $14 to burn. Let me buy this. But I mean, your childhood makes a big deal on that. So for me, for example, I'm an Orioles fan, but on TV here, Ted Turner on TBS was always on TV, right? You remember that, Tony? My dad was a Braves fan, grew up listening to them, and I was a contrarian. The Orioles were on TV, and the Orioles happened to be pretty decent in the 90s. Not great, but they were good enough. I cursed myself. I could have been a Braves fan and been a lot happier in life. But no, I'm an Orioles fan because I watched Cal Ripken. I watched him break the streak. I've got that on VHS in his closet behind me. So, like when Tony brought up the baseball cards, I remember collecting baseball cards. I mean, this is now American affinity culture, but I think I don't know what causes. Maybe I do know, and maybe it's just that, but people's opinion, I don't think it really matters where they come from. I think what matters to me is, so like take Fabrizio Romano, for example. If you go to his little Facebook page, the first 7 or 8 comments are people trying to get people to follow them. And that's where I get annoyed. And I don't care where the hell they're from. Some of them are Americans. But what are you doing? Be interesting on your own. Don't clout chase. So,
do you know there was a lot of Americans that appeared in the Leeds Twitter fan base, or not necessarily just Twitter, but like because I think the I don't know what the right word is. I think the general narrative is that Leeds hate Americans. I mean, that's not true. What we hated was the American fans gassing up the American players who then underperformed, and then basically they stopped being Leeds fans because Leeds stopped doing well. Now, I know obviously you want to know this was a thing, but that is the real. Of course, there are people within Leeds fan base that were never going to accept American fans, and those people were stupid. But that is partly what happened. And it's more the fact of we knew that would happen if Leeds stopped doing well, which is what happened. So it's like did it happen because we said it would happen, or it's like what was cause and effect, like self-fulfilling prophecy or something like that. I don't know.
So I can say this much though, Tom, knowing my affinity for shit teams, Orioles, Magic. If Arsenal was to go really down low, I'm still sticking around just because I'm so accustomed. We're different. We're all in our late 30s, early 40s. So we grew up in that era where the badge, the logo meant more than the actual player itself. Where now, if LeBron moves tomorrow, there's people that probably have different LeBron jerseys for every different team he's been on.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're always the fuckers for attention that burn the uniforms when they leave.
I'll tell you somewhere else where I've seen gate guarding is at college campuses, where people feel, I went to this school, you didn't go to this school, you're less of a fan than us. But most people are pretty accepting. But there are that I've seen it at Clemson. I'm sure it happens.
You get pricks in every group.
Yeah, and
there's always like the thing with humanity or humans, as horrible as this is to say, is that in any group of people, there will be people that look for reasons to make other people less than them. And it's often very immature, stupid things that then become very real things, and they get away with it, and other people believe it. Yeah.
Piggybacking off what Spencer said there. What the fuck was I going to say?
Probably something with colleges.
Oh, as I was saying, like, if you go there and you somebody that has season tickets gives you the seats for a weekend. It's like for people next to you look at you weird or ask where so and so is. It's like, come on, I'm watching a game, cheering for the same team. You have to treat me like shit since I'm not the normal person that sits next to you.
So I guess to piggyback what we've said here, like, I understand what Brownie's saying. I would expand that comment to like the whole fucking world, just because it's all over the place. Social media, I think, has made it worse because it gives people a chance to be voiced in a voiceless world at times, if that makes sense. It gives, I mean, look at what COVID did to the world, where people became shut-ins. Some people do. Like, my wife laughed at me. She's like so I do have friends outside of what we do here, but at the same time, sometimes on a Saturday, if we're not doing anything, I'll do the road trip and then I'll do the wrestling thing, and I'm pretty freaking content for the weekend. That's okay. I don't need to go do a bunch of shit. So I think social media, as good as it can be to bring people together, to give people who normally would just be alone right now, it can also bring out the worst in people too. So, it's one of those weird things that they're going to study the internet 10 to 20 to 30, 40 years from now. And, they're going to look back at this time and, yeah, I can hear Pat McAfee too, Tony. He knows. I can't do that. That's not Pat.
I can't hear Pat.
Isn't it?
That sounds like Pat McAfee.
Whatever it is.
He
Yeah.
he was
Anyone
dressed
who
as
can
a
give it.
pimp.
Of course he was.
So somebody made their return today.
Okay, please don't ruin it for me.
Also think there's long-term.
But anyway, right,
Sorry.
I want to read out Football with Brownie's comment because for the benefit of people that listen into the show.
Yeah.
Because there are some that are listening, so they don't necessarily see the comments come up on screen. He goes, sorry, but I'm going to say it. The morals of Nigerian football fans regarding Mason Greenwood really gets to me.
In which way?
Oh, you know what? He actually mentioned something about it further on, so I will bring that up. It's the same people who support Mason Greenwood on social media, even though there's video evidence, photo evidence, and audio evidence that he committed a crime. I agree with him to that degree because, again, it's what's the word? Agenda, motive. People wanting to see conspiracy where there is none. Like, are you out to get Mason Greenwood? He's on camera. Like,
I mean, Ray Rice never played a down ever again. And that was probably pre a lot of the awareness, I guess, if that makes sense. Look, Greg Hardy got accused, I think cleared. There was potential proof there, but the fact that Ray Rice's was on camera, he was untouchable. And so okay, all right, here we go. Because now we're gonna go into this sport washing. When does it? So if you're gonna accept money, tell me if you want me to stop, Tom. I'll stop. I can
no,
stop.
because I don't agree with it myself.
You know where I'm going with this. If you
Yeah,
can
I do know where
accept
you're
money
going.
from a country that has no issue putting people to death for social morals that you put on the sleeve of your shirt, why can't Mason Greenwood keep on playing? I don't think either are right, but if we're going to punish one and accept money from the other, where's the line here?
On a slight pivot, it's why I'm not upset that Red Bull have invested in Leeds United. If Red Bull tomorrow made a full takeover of Leeds United, I could go to bed, put my head on the pillow, and not feel an ounce of guilt about what's funneling money into my football. What sugar drinks are funneling money
Would it be
into
called Red
my
Bull
football
Leagues,
club.
or would it be called Red Bull Leagues United?
Well, no, league. Apparently, legally, they can't do that. It will not be stood for. Now, obviously, they've agreed with that to get into the minority ownership position. I'm sure it'll be a different conversation when they turn around and go, well, we've put 200 million into your club and things like this. But that's a fight I'd rather have without knowing that my team's going to go out of business, which was a very real possibility in 2007, 2008 time. But my point is that I'm not sitting there worrying that my club is being run by people who have a royal agenda / it's their core belief that certain people are not welcome within the community.
Especially with go ahead, sorry.
No, sorry, I finished.
I mean, and to piggyback on that, I'll go one further. The England shirt, changing the St. George's Cross. So I know we had a discussion about this, I'd say 4 or 5 months ago. I did a little more research on it. Do you think that the Saudis would allow their jerseys to ever look like that? With the same messaging? I know the answer.
Well, they obviously would not, because, again, they have their beliefs and they stick to them. I respect that they have their beliefs and stick to them, but I just don't respect their beliefs.
I guess my point is the FA. I mean, look, money rules everything. And this is literally, if you want to follow everything in the world, just follow the money. I mean, I'll tell you something that's offline, Tom. I don't want to do this on Gary's channel, but you literally don't have to go far in today's day and age with social media to find that money rules everything. It just does. it's greed, power. Those two things run everything, and it's not out of the realm of
keeps getting
possibility.
worse is one of the bad part of it. Just
It's not out of the realm of possibility for sports leagues to now compromise. They're basically gonna cater to whatever market is there, but they're also going to accept money from other markets that don't agree with other markets, if that makes sense. So,
Tony, can you turn down your TV, please? I can literally hear the commentary.
I barely have it on.
We can hear it.
Thank you.
So
I have it up forward.
This is, it's going to get worse before it gets better. And I didn't ever think that we'd come to a point where sports washing would happen. If you'd had this conversation 20 years ago, I'd have said no way. But when you're talking about the safety of the football pyramid, for example, right? They always talk about the football pyramid.
Yeah.
FA's, the PIF's like, hey, FA, here's $100 million or whatever, just a random number to filter out between your 92 clubs to help their solvency. There we go. Yeah. So what's to say people wouldn't accept it? It's just, I don't know, man. It's a weird time. It's a weird time, but
I'll just do what I want to say. I want to welcome Miss Melina.
What's going on?
I'm a bit late with that, but I'm not as late as Ray. So there you go.
Damn.
Now you say hello on the Arsenal fan circle. You can go and bake bread from scratch and buy from scratch. I mean, like, you can actually cultivate the ingredients to then bake bread from scratch.
Yeah, level yeast rise and all that.
And make yourself a sandwich.
You can actually grow the yeast. Anyway, Brownie went on to say, I also think it's a long-term relationship between countries continue within the sporting community, like USA, UK, South America, Spain, Eastern Europe, Russia, especially within football. Fair point. He liked your point on
Mason.
What were we talking about 4 minutes ago?
Yeah. Greenwood.
Greenwood, yeah.
So, go ahead, sorry.
No, I just wanted to read his other comment of historical story behind the reason Real Madrid wear white. It's because General Franco wanted to use them into spreading the white power message across Europe. Why would a black person play or support them? Well, I know why they'd play for them, because you'll get paid more to play for them than most other clubs in Spain.
But also, there comes a point where does anybody that owns the club still associate with General Franco? Because you're talking 1930s there. I mean, we're almost 100 years past, right? Like,
it's not saying that
without really opening it. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, look at America, 1964. Jackie Robinson breaking the color barrier to come in and play. Like, like I get his sentiment on that, because there is a history of incidences in Spain that do happen, right? Italy is probably the worst offender of that. But I don't know, man. Like, there's only one way to move forward, and that is to not forget history, but to forgive and, I don't know, try to move forward in a proper manner.
I think a lot of things are. I think if you try and brush things aside and pretend they didn't happen, people will look to find out what happened.
Yeah.
And then you create this, well, why didn't you want me to know that happened?
Yeah.
Like, what is your agenda behind trying to make this information unavailable? Maybe I'm reaching there.
Same thing with kids. Think about kids. Don't get on that ledge. Well, I'm going to go get on that ledge now. Why do you want me on the ledge? Because you'll fall and break your head. Kids are going to do it. It's the same thing. I mean, we have gotten to an extent in today's society where we do want to erase history as far as not teach it. We're afraid to teach it. We're afraid to. I mean, football has a colorful history too. All sports have colorful histories. I mean, we can go through America and what we went through and how our society. I mean, I think me and Tony, like, we're as the token Americans, I guess, right here. Gary obviously is not here to speak of it, but I mean, we're just, 2024, Tony, Gary, like, we had nothing to do with 1964 or 1957, because you can go through the history of baseball, Ty Cobb, all this stuff, and you see the segregation. They just recently integrated the Negro League's statistics into baseball, which should have been done a long time ago, just because it's baseball. It is a game. I don't care they didn't play each other. It's a game, and those stats matter. But, like, the world's just different, man. We're a lot more alike than...
Was there a lot of pushback on that? Like, were
I
there
only
people
saw
that
one
didn't
person.
think it should?
I only saw one person push back on that, and it was who I thought was going to push back on it. But he pushes back on everything. He'll text me and be like, or not text me, but he'll be like on social media, like, oh, you're going to talk soccer again or whatever. Like, he's that guy. He just likes to, but I don't know his reasoning behind it, because I know he's not a prejudiced person at all. He just is an elitist when it comes to his sports. I mean, based on what I know about who he is as a person and who he's worked with and who his close friends are, he's nowhere near anything prejudiced. I just think I think he just wanted both separate. I don't know. I never really engaged him because I didn't really care about his opinion, if that makes sense.
Yeah, to be fair, I've got a real problem with disabled people, but then I'm buddied up with Tony just to, like, be my shield against criticism for that.
Yeah. Well,
Tony's my
and me being a little bit of a Heinz 57.
Tony's my equivalent of, I'm not racist, I've got one black friend. It's not true, by the way. That's not true. I'll put it another way. A guy at work, I swear this is true, went to me, I can't be racist. My sister's dated a black man. To which I went, well, how does that mean you can't be racist? He went, what do you mean? I was like, that's like me saying I got legal advice from a lawyer's brother. It means nothing. I actually don't think that guy, again, like you just said, I don't think that guy is racist. Yeah. But the statement of, I'm not, because, I'm like, what's that got to do with the price of milk in Denmark on a Tuesday?
And to be fair to the dude I know, who was the only person that had issues with it, I didn't really want to engage him on it because I didn't really care about his opinion at that time. And it wasn't because it was a dissenting opinion of what I think it should be. It just, oh, that's an interesting take. Scroll up. Because I just, at 37 years old, I'm pretty good at, oh, I don't agree with you. Scroll up. I'm not going to fight you over it. I'm not going to change your mind. Like, it's just not happening.
I know all those debates are pointless at having because they're set in their ways. They're not going to listen to you.
Yeah.
You make a point.
But to be fair, I would listen to a friend. I would have a discussion with a friend. I'm not going to have that discussion with a stranger. There's two different things because I respect the friend. Not that I don't respect the stranger, but I don't have enough respect and buy-in to actually sit here and waste time. Your time's limited on Earth. Why are you gonna argue with a person whose picture is Cristiano Ronaldo? You're not talking to Ronaldo, so why argue with him? You're not going to talk gross domestic product with that guy. I'm not doing that.
Then you have here one of the worst offenders being the NHL EA Sports had to turn off the chats because they were very racist.
Can I go controversial?
No, go on. Please do.
Can I go? Do you think it was how dumb was it for EA Sports FC, or also FIFA, to remove Russia from the game?
What I find interesting about that is I think that it was done to appease the sort of people that are not actually going to applaud you for doing it. No one's actually going to go on the internet and go, well done, EA Sports, you've removed Russia. Basically, they've done it to appease the people that have Ukraine in their bios on Facebook or whatever. And they're probably not buying FIFA.
Yeah.
But I was gonna bring up Russia anyway because the UEFA's banning Russia flags during Ukraine games.
I mean, my biggest beef that I was bringing up with this, Tom and Tony, was the fact that FIFA 21 was purchased. It was a base game, had Russia in it, and they went into your game in an update and took it out.
Yeah.
Not the fact that they decided at FIFA 22 we're not going to have it, or FIFA 23 we're not. It was, you bought this game, you paid for this. I never played with a Russian team in my life. I'm going to go ahead and never. I can't sit here and say
I'm
the
pretty
RPL.
sure it's not if it actually impacted your experience. Of
No,
the
it
game.
hasn't. But
It's
it's
not the point, is it?
Yeah, it's like, you know what? I paid for that game. Give me a $3 credit. If you know what I mean, like that's
Russia's not worth $3.
I know it's not, but I'm saying like I paid for a game with Russia in it. Not that I'm ever going to play with them in it. It's like if they were to take women's football off the game. I need that in there because there might be a time where I might play it. You never look.
Hello, Holly. By the way.
So if they would have banned Russia from FIFA 22, 23, EA Sports FC, cool. But the game that I bought, or whatever year it was they did it, how are you going to go into update and take it off?
No, you're actually, no, you've hit on something there that I've never actually really considered because I've never really thought about it. Sorry, I've got Alonso asking to come on the show. Let's do a live vote right now. Alonso. No, we'll do it in style Gladiator.
What is that?
No, you've never seen the movie Gladiator?
Yeah, but we don't know. We're not sure which direction you go in.
I mean, I'm just gonna go thumbs up.
Greek and Roman. If you want
it's your call, Tony.
Do we want him with political debate?
We're not really being political, though, in my opinion.
This isn't political. This is digging at EA.
Yeah, this is digging at EA for selling me a product.
It's digging at EA for making a decision without consulting me. You've took a team out of the game without asking me if I'm offended by their presence.
Yeah, they do the same thing now when somebody's accused of rape. They disappear from the game. That's why a lot of people just stay offline so they don't have to deal with the game being updated.
You know what? I misspoke there, right? Because it could turn out that they did actually consult their audience.
I never got
and I just happened to not answer it. I could turn out to be wrong, but I get the feeling they did not consult their audience. They just assume it's like they became the sort of people that get upset about the Christmas lights on behalf of other religions, but then decide. But then the other religions are not offended by the Christmas lights. They're just assuming they will be.
Yeah. Oh, I could go on this. But we're not going to do that to Gary. So
no,
I got you.
We'll do worse.
Spencer could probably talk about Christmas lights for 5 months.
Did you see the glisten in my eye, Tom, when you mentioned Xmas lights? It's almost as if his frown turned upside down.
But in all seriousness,
Tom wants to know if there's a rise in your pants. But
sorry, what?
Nope. Carry on.
I said you want to know if there's a rise in his pants when you mentioned Christmas lights.
Nope.
That's all right. Tony's being creepy again, and he made it. How do we have it timed at 59 minutes? 59 minutes. Okay.
That's actually pretty impressive. I'm very proud of them. I mean, granted, the question. Anyway, carry on. Sorry, Tom. So you were saying about.
I have sent Alonso the link, by the way, in case anyone thinks I was fucking around with it. Sorry, Spencer, you was saying?
Oh, man. Brownie's absolutely going to bring the worst out of me. Or they get upset. It's just, you and I have talked about this before, Tom. Words have been used to describe people you don't like, not the actions that they're actually doing.
Yeah.
And that's what we've become in society today. I'm going to call you something because I've lost this argument with you, and I want you to look bad.
Yeah, it's like again, I brought him up earlier. When Jez went viral for his comments on African football fans.
Yep.
Now, we're not massive fans of it. Admit, I'm hyperbolizing this because, like, other than that time I met the guy, I've never really associated with him.
Yeah.
So to say I don't like him is really unfair and probably not true. But I did think the narrative that he was racist was really unfair.
Yeah.
It became very. I think he bordered on old man shakes fist at cloud. But it was like the way it got to, like, don't get me wrong, Lee Gunner did do a goal line clearance to actually prevent it going into actual racism. But I don't know if it would. But it feels like it would. But again, I don't think he's racist. I just think he's out of touch with his opinion.
Well, I think you and I brought this up 100%. And you said it more than I did, which props to you. You said if they agreed with him, he'd be gaslighting them up right now. If everybody was repeating every opinion that he said, he would be all about him and tell how great they were. And they're the greatest thing in sliced bread, greatest fans ever.
Yeah.
I just think some people are bitter. And I think the internet emboldens people. And I think that's people don't think there's consequences for stuff. I don't know, but
I've said a lot of things tonight that if people actually gave enough of a shit, they could clip me up. But at the end of the day,
yeah, but clip you up in which way? It clip you up for an opinion.
I did say I'd use Tony as a shield to hide my vendetta against the disabled.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
I definitely said that.
I mean, nobody knows who the hell I am, so if you clip me up, no one's gonna know.
I'm not going to turn you in, Tom.
Well, there we go.
That's very kind of you.
Squeal like a pig. No,
you're just like a true shield.
Yeah.
But no, in all seriousness.
No, I get what Brownie's sitting here, but there's just international games the world is so. It's a global world that the tournaments make it individualistic again, if that makes sense. And we decide what we're going to be outraged about. Like I saw today, the Slovenian guy that got, I think, the goal line clearance. Because, of course, we didn't get to see the first game, Tom, because it's on Fubo TV, so you don't get to see Romania and Ukraine. But either way, he got hit on his head, and he's knocked down on the ground. And what do you see the Belgian fans doing just throwing shit? They're just throwing it. And it's like Mbappe today. I'm going to dig on Mbappe, but someone touched his face like this, and he went down.
Yeah.
And then he got his nose really broke. That was karma. I wish him all the best and hope he gets better. God bless him. Great player.
I believe the phrase you may be looking for is it was Carmageddon.
Carmageddon. I wish him all the best. But my God, dude, like
who did that to Kevin Nash, Tom? Who just pushed his chest with a finger and he dropped down? Was it Hogan?
It certainly was. The finger poke of doom. But I may have had a quick meme, which in hindsight, I think I was a bit itchy on whether this would be controversial or not.
We don't have to do it then. I mean, it's,
But I'll test it out. Anyway, when Romania scored again, it was very goal. Come on. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. Because you're supposed to let Ukraine win. Because Ukraine are the heroes in national stage. But then I did come across this meme.
I do have a joke. I'll leave it alone.
We call those floppers. Is that a basketball term, like for when
it's a basketball term? You see it in soccer, football, not NFL, but you just see floppers.
Yeah. Basically, it's Romania addressing Vladimir Putin. Imagine him slapping him right in the back of the head. That's how you destroy Ukraine.
Oh God. I was gonna say,
I'm gonna get letters from Gary tomorrow. It's fine.
well, that's technically America's team. We're paying them enough money, so that's technically.
Yeah,
the
but we
votes
pay
are in.
everybody money, Spencer.
It's true.
The votes are in. I believe it was 1 vote from BX Gunner and 1 vote from Tony, but nothing Tony says counts. So we are going to bring in. Is he ready to come in? Does he want theme music? I'll give you the old Raw is War theme music from '97. It's Alonso.
War is war.
Yeah.
Hey Tom. Hey Tony. Hey Spencer.
Sorry, I'm happy
Speaking.
something just finally happened.
Oh, come on, right?
So, how are you doing, Alonzo? How is your day going? What's new in your world? Are you upset about Martin Truex Jr. hanging up at the end of the year? I mean, what's going on, man? Talk to me. Talk to me.
You got fans, Alonso?
Yeah. So, it's kind of depressing, though I saw it coming. I kind of thought that, despite what he says, I'm pretty sure he's just frustrated about how this year's been going so far. But he won't say that. He'll just take responsibility and take accountability of his own actions. Though, it's just ever since James Small was a crew chief, it's like he's never really been the same, really. So, with all that said, I hope he gets at least a win this year, and he just goes on his own way. I think often in NASCAR, you've seen the past Hall of Fame type caliber drivers not do as well towards the end of their careers, and it's heartbreaking to an extent because he could win a couple more races. It's just his crew chief has been the worst out of the bunch. It seems like, and he doesn't learn from his mistakes, and that's kind of cost Martin Truex Jr. some wins. But it is what it is. I just hope he just finishes strong to get in the playoffs and just goes on from there. But yeah, he's had a good career, I think, and I, I don't know what goes on at Joe Gibbs Racing, but seems like he's kind of gotten the worst out of the 4 as far as equipment goes, as far as pit crew goes, and so just kind of sucks for him. But other than that, I think other drivers and even his own teammates speak very highly of him. So with that said, I just hope that he finishes his career on a good note, not a bad note.
How was your weekend?
Uneventful. I was in the ER on Saturday morning.
Oh, you all right?
I have it's just stomach pains really. It's like the best way to explain it without mispronunciating it is what Brock Lesnar had during his fight with Cain Velasquez. It's diverticulitis. I think that's how you say it. I always
Kenny
mispronounce
Omega
it, but
has it as well. So basically, I know
yeah.
3 people on Earth that's had it, right? Brock Lesnar, Kenny Omega, former AEW World Champion, and Alonzo Spencer.
What was it called?
I thought Brock had colitis.
It's called
You can have 2 things.
Oh,
You can have
that's
2
called
things.
Good.
Didn't know.
what?
You can have 2 things.
Yeah.
You should know. You have 26 things.
Only one thing with my intestines. So.
Are you saying who has more injuries? Tony Turner of the New England Patriots?
I mean, it's
Joking,
close
Tony,
to one
sorry.
thing, but I'm pretty sure it's Tony Turner.
It depended if you would bring the coach back, bring Belichick back, because Brady was always up there for a upper body injury.
Loyal viewer of the show, Holly, has basically said Denny Hamlin is winning this year. That's
We'll
a
see.
name. I have no
Yeah,
idea who
but
that is.
the thing is that he's like Martin Truex teammate. But Webber is like he's always blown it when it comes to winning a championship.
Okay. Well, I did confide in Spencer earlier that I have bet on Romelu Lukaku to be the top scorer in the European Championships. Now, I know that sounds silly now,
Oof.
but I got odds of 12-1. How could you not? Plus, my theory was he was in the shop window because obviously Chelsea don't want to pay him anymore. But
Well, here's another thing. Lukaku may still end up being the top scorer. It's not out of the realm of possibility given Mbappe is now potentially going to be done with the Euros. So Cristiano's 39. Kai Havertz is probably going to be your top scorer for the Euros, but could be. I'll tell you what, Jude Bellingham, that goal on Sunday, that was a great run by him.
It was. But then following on from that, when what's his team? Belgium went 1-0 behind to Slovakia. I then basically went Lukaku, next goal. To which then he did score the next goal. And then it was chalked off for offside. And then he scored the next goal again. And it was chalked off because of handball or whatever. And basically it prompted this. For once, maybe I'll get a goal without someone adding VAR review. It's a sad day. It's a sad day for VAR.
Yeah.
Although wonderful.
My buddy referred to Belgium as the Tottenham Hotspur of international football.
Arguably true, yeah. And by arguably, I mean I will say, yeah, they are.
Since that was their golden generation, it's done nothing.
That's a great question, Tony. Whose golden generation is a bigger failure, Belgium's or England of say 2002 to 2000?
What about Croatia's golden era?
They were runner up right in 2018 for.
Yeah, right? 2018.
I wouldn't say that was a disappointment. I kind of thought
say
that
Belgium, Tom.
Tony, Jesus fucking Christ. 2018, a lot of people picked that Croatia would be a dark horse of that tournament because that was probably the end of their run as the golden generation. And I kind of thought that would be true, that they would kind of have a way in that tournament that they would advance pretty far, and they did, to their credit. With that said, I think back on USA's golden era from 2002 to 2010, I believe. And, I remember never dying Donovan coming up, Marcus Beasley, those guys, Mitch Hadou to a point. But we never could get past the European teams. That's what hurt us the most. Then we had played Belgium, and they had saved, I think, a lot of shots that game. And if that was a point, Belgium would have gotten that far in that tournament.
Okay. So after hearing the history of Croatia, I'd like to thank BX Gunner for actually answering the fucking question.
I think Tony just took a picture of a QR code. I'm just joking. Yeah.
Oh, no. All the QR codes are over.
Hold on now. Hold on. So let's go back to this Belgium-England discussion because I think they said today Belgium didn't qualify for a whole tournament from 2002 to 2014, I believe was the phrase they said today. So I think I'm going with Belgium, man.
Yeah, I think it's definitely Belgium.
Because you got to think, you had Hazard. I mean, the guys that were on that team, especially in 2018. I mean,
the irony of it is that if England had beaten Belgium in that final group game, Belgium would have been on the side of the tournament with Croatia in the semi-final, and Belgium would have probably made the final. Obviously, we don't know because we haven't got the benefit of hindsight or foresight. But the fact is that Belgium team should have probably had a better run. But obviously, they put them winning that group, put them in the harder half of the draw, where they obviously come unstuck, as they usually do. You was about to say something, Alonso, please.
Yeah, because remember that team had, I think Vermaelen was on that team as well in 2018, yet he was basically used goods by the time they were, like, they had Jan Vertonghen, they had a lot of good talent on that team. I believe it was, they had a deep roster then, or Hazard always, that was after it was injury prone. So they could have far, but I was going to say the England conundrum, as you would say, was that, Lampard and Gerrard could never play together on the England side, so that's why they never really. That was the excuse they had, was that they were good enough, but they can never play good together in that formation. That was always being used. Therefore, they can never get through to the next round or so. But they always had talent. They always had a good back four. It was just that midfield was always going missing during those games in World Cup and the Euros as well.
I like how Brownie qualified today talking about France 2016. It's like, you've mentioned Wales in the story, so of course it's 2016, bud.
In the story.
Brilliant. Did you know Belgium played Wales in Euro 2016? Brownie never talks about it. It's Brownie's version of Cody Rhodes. It's Dusty's son. I'm sure Brownie won't get that, but I do. So,
he gets it.
He's a great lad.
Can we talk about a player from one of the teams you play against in the championship, Tom?
All right. So, all right. No, let's play your bullshit cryptic game. All right, I've got time to waste. Tony, I was about to call you Cody. Cody Turner, give me a clue about who you're talking about.
Goalkeeper.
Championship goalkeeper. Okay, give Spencer another clue.
Team that was known for all the soccer fights and stuff in the late 70s, early 80s.
Tony, Cody Turner, give
Alonso got Millwall.
Give Alonso another question. Another clue.
He already guessed Millwall.
No. You love giving cryptic clues, so I want all your cryptic clues.
Don't break his brain, Tom. He doesn't have any more clues. That was it.
Alonso got it. Why do I have to go further?
You only came to the party with 2 clues, did you?
I could have had one.
All right. So the Millwall goalkeeper.
Yep. Died Saturday. 26 years old.
Oh yeah.
He did. It was really unfortunate.
Played 2 days earlier. Man of the match because he
played the national game, did he not?
Yeah, he had 9 saves, so they gave him man of the match even though they lost 2-0.
against the golden generation, I believe,
Yep.
of Belgium. Now I can see what Spencer and Alonso are saying about Croatia, but they've been so consistently good at producing certain like that. Croatia, since their formation as a country, they've always had a top star. So I guess that's why I don't see them as like this. Losing Modric at the end of this tournament, I don't see it as losing their golden generation, because they've always had a world-class player like Robert Prozinecki in the 90s, Davor Suker, for example, Pavel, not Pavel Nedved, he's from Czech Republic, but that's why I guess, I mean, whereas Belgium have no one, and then all of a sudden they had loads of good players, as if out from fucking nowhere.
Didn't Croatia also have?
Sorry, Alonso, go on.
Didn't Croatia also have Mario Mandzukic, right?
There you go. But that's what I mean. Like, they churn these players out over a period of time. So somehow they do. But
in Croatia, 98, they made a good run too, right? It was second place there.
Yeah, they lost to France in the semi-final. So, like, them getting to the World Cup, them getting to the latter stages of a World Cup is not actually new. Whereas Belgium never really achieve anything. And then all of a sudden they got loads of players.
But Croatia being the number 2 rated team in the world was new.
Oh, I can tell you something interesting. Did you know Belgium, although Belgium lost today, they've still increased their world ranking, which is usually a theme of what happens when Belgium lose a match. The epitome of falling upwards. Brownie with, yeah, they were part of Yugoslavia, and yeah.
I tried to send Brownie a link to the article I sent you, Tom, because I know Saturday you guys talked about Saudi and Bahrain and just things I've seen.
Loyal fan of the show, Holly, says, who do you have winning tomorrow?
She's not talking about Euros. She could probably. Never mind.
Is that? Wait a second. Is
She's
this
talking about Hockey Corner.
Is this a segue to
Hockey Corner? Okay.
Is she doing one of my? Is she copying my cryptic questions?
No one would ever want to copy or anything, Tony.
Hockey Corner.
Hockey.
Your
I like
Uncle
that Tony's got
Boston.
special effects because the TV light is radiating on him. So occasionally it's like, oh, it goes red.
It went red because it was
in this edition of Alonso's Hockey Corner, tomorrow Game 5 is between the Oilers and Panthers. It would have been a sweep. However, the Oilers won 6-1, and therefore the game is tomorrow. Hope in Miami. So hopefully the Panthers will win tomorrow against the Edmonton Oilers, and therefore the Panthers win the Stanley Cup. That is Alonso's Hockey Corner.
So we had the Celtics get blown out by the Mavericks, which was one of the biggest losses ever in the finals. Where does the Panthers losing 8-1 rank in there, Spencer Alonso?
Oh, I don't know. It's I'd have to do some look-see on that. The minute I saw the score was 5-1, I was like, I'm not wasting my time with this. So I decided to watch boring stuff on YouTube, man. Actually, no, I didn't watch YouTube. I decided to rewatch McIntyre and Punk, which I missed earlier during the day. which was
Quite
fun.
good.
It's kind of funny how, like, if the Panthers win tonight, or excuse me, the Celtics win tonight, and and the Panthers win tomorrow, nobody remember those blowout games, right? And it's kind of funny if, like, they go on a run, meaning the Mavericks and the Oilers, make it interesting. And, you know, I don't know, but I kind of like the close games in the finals, where if it's like, you know, a 4-1 series win by both teams, then it's like, oh, whatever, you know.
I probably should have known this answer, Tony. It was my Colorado Avalanche in 2022. They blew out the Tampa Bay Lightning in Game 2, 7-0. Now, I know the difference is 8-1 is 7 goals, but a shutout means more than 1 goal conceded.
It really does. More impressive.
I don't know how I forget
People may or may not
I'll be
know
drinking.
that in the main event of today's games, Austria lost 1-0 to France, and it was an own goal scored by Max Verber.
Mhm.
Do people know who Max Verber's parent club is? I'll give you a clue. It rhymes with weeds.
Leeds.
And so, obviously, I canvassed the opinion of Austrian nationals, and I managed to get the opinion of one very specific Austrian, arguably the world's most famous Austrian.
Known for Terminator.
This is all your fault, Max. And don't get me started on your performances for Leeds. Somehow, and I'm going to lump in, even though he was on loan in Borussia Mönchengladbach or whatever last season, somehow Leeds bottling it was his fault. Somehow. I don't know how. I've got time to pin it on him. Nicky Lauda and Arnold are the best Austrians. Well, I didn't say best, did I? I said most notorious.
I mean, they looked really good today. I was really surprised how. I mean, honestly, it could have been 3 or 4-0, but overall, I don't think they'll have an issue getting out of their group.
I would argue that this Austrian is more famous than Nicky Lauda.
What about the good old days when it used to be not Austria and Hungary, it was Austria-Hungary? That's pre-World War I, so whatever. There you go. Their history lesson for today.
And up next in the...
Someone's TV's loud.
If people wanted to watch what you were watching, they'd watch it. They wouldn't watch us to watch you watch it. I don't know if I've worded that right. Anyway, the important thing is, I got what's the world's most famous football song in terms of England?
It's Not Coming Home.
There you go. That's what happens to people that sing it more than once. That's what you feel like doing to most people who sing it. But and one more. It's not gone well for Scotland this week, some would say. Obviously, the football didn't go well, and they had to wake up in the morning and realise they were still Scottish. So I've put together a list of the Scottish Player of the Year from a Scotland perspective.
Oh, it's definitely CM Punk.
And
I think Brownie's behind. I'm assuming he stepped away for a second.
I'm just glad that he wrote the answer pretty correctly. Scotland's Player of the Year every year.
So it's funny. So speaking of Scotland, you know, I have a little Scottish roots in me and everything, but There was a Scottish guy in the rugby chat, in the rugby Discord or whatever. He said that was never a red card. And, I like him. He's a good kid. He's young, probably mid-20s. No, not today. I'm not 2-footed tackle is always a red card. So,
it was such not a red card that he's been banned for the 2 games. Basically, they've ended his tournament.
yeah.
I've got a theory on this. Scotland should send him home because I imagine the budget at the Scottish FA probably doesn't extend like it would in the English FA. So they can probably save on like about 10, a week's worth of meals by sending him home now.
I mean, it is crazy because they went for it in that game, and they were just like, oh. And then Germany was like, boom, boom, boom. And it was like, too late.
Oh, this is brilliant.
It is great how many English fans gave Scotland a ribbon, and then they almost had their own disaster on Sunday with Serbia. I guess it's just you and me, Tom.
Not me.
And I can hear the cackles from downstairs. Yeah. I mean, it was a horrendous challenge. I mean, even if he slipped, he could have broke the dude's ankle. I mean, it was just, yeah. And I think they made a comment on that night that they're going to try to protect players in this tournament. So if you see a horrific challenge, I think that's the other thing, Tom. You've got quarterfinals when the yellow cards dissipate, I think, or start over. So I think that would also probably benefit a country like Germany, France, England even. Would probably benefit
Teams
from
that
that.
actually get to the quarterfinal, you mean?
England's going to make it to the quarterfinal.
I imagine.
Oh, that's what Tom said. Teams that make it to the quarterfinal.
Well, that makes. Well, I'm saying teams that could absorb that. If you were to lose a player, if Romania loses a player to another second yellow card, that's probably more detrimental than if England loses a player to a second yellow. That's my point. The teams with depth will rise above that. Like a spirit above the phoenix.
If I get shit from Gary over this fucking noise, I will not be pleased.
If he's still watching at this point, we will be pleased.
I'll be surprised, more surprised than pleased.
He's going to do this when we be on the Peloton tomorrow. You know this is what he's going to do.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to get a set of notes, aren't I?
Well, you get notes. I don't get notes. I might just not get asked to be back on. There's a difference.
I think it's because he looks like the man from Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
I believe. But sorry, there was a question. What are you watching, Tony?
Don't ask. Why'd you ask? Don't ask.
I'm watching wrestling, but I have a volume at 3, so I don't know if anybody can hear it.
Hey, I don't care who it is. That's not my point. My point is that it's not my channel, but you should probably respect the person whose channel it is. I'm not digging at anyone specifically. I'm just saying.
He's here.
Oh, look who it is.
QR code.
It's the human version of the QR code. It's Gary.
Yeah.
Say hello to Gary, everyone.
Who wiggled
Hi,
their
Gary.
nose? Hi, Gary. Who clicked their heels and said there's no place like home? I'm just over here. But anyway, I think the tournament's been pretty good so far, Tom, if I'm being honest with you. I think it's been slightly enjoyable. I mean, so explain the Euros format here for those who might be ignorant, like myself. So the top 2 from each bracket advance, and then the bottom third place, the best 4.
My understanding of it could be wrong, but they tend to separate the 6 groups into 2 banks of 3, like A, B, and C, and then D, E, and F. 2 out of the 3 in each one will go through of the 3rd place. So it's not necessarily the best 4 of the 6. I do think they work it out as 2 of A to C, and then 2 of D to
E. So at the end of the day, Belgium, in spite of their failure today, would probably still go through based on their coefficient as well.
Yeah, basically. Hello, Gary.
Hello, Gary.
Hello, people.
Hey, Gary.
Hey there. Hello. Go on, continue.
Oh, we were just talking about the
no,
Euros format.
It's like the teachers. The teachers
Oh.
come back into the.
Oh, whoa! What happened there? Did I scare off Lonzo?
Probably. You know what it's like. Blessing in disguise and all that nonsense.
I don't know what that means.
It's okay. Nobody does. But how are you doing? How was your weekend? How was your Father's Day?
It was good. It was good. Yeah, went to the movies, saw Bad Boys.
Okay.
What did you think?
I liked it. I actually liked Reggie. Reggie's the star.
Man.
Yes. Reggie's the star, and the fact that he gets to put his meat on the grill says it all.
Is much more PG than that sounded.
Yes.
He's talking about a real grill and actual edible meat.
Yeah, chicken.
Yeah.
Speaking of which.
Yep, went to an actual theater.
3 times.
No, seriously, where did Lonzo go? Am I not allowed to be on the show with him?
I had no idea.
Fucking asked to come on as well. Pardon my language, of course.
Yep. No, I enjoyed that movie. It was pretty good.
You went to an actual theatre, Beats kind of says.
Yep.
I can't tell you the last time I've been to a theater. I can. It was in the Middle East, in Bahrain, in a base theater. I saw the last Bond movie. That's it. It was free. It was a good time. They played the national anthem beforehand. It was pretty cool.
Well, what movies have you paid $30 to watch while they're still at theaters? None of them.
I can't think I've ever. I mean, if I took my wife, that's $30. If you take a +1 at usually.
I pay about 200 a year, and but that's unlimited movies.
Ooh, do you get the popcorn?
No, my actual thing that I like getting at the movies is I like the ice cream. More so in the summer, admittedly. Yeah, sure. I used to like when they did like the slush, like like the icy, but I like the ones that are like lime, and that's rare. They brought it back for Ghostbusters, but it's like, oh, it's like you're drinking Slimer. It's like, I'd rather not think of it like that.
Follow-on question with that though: does the movie theater AC?
Yes.
So that okay, all right, because I'm assuming you don't have AC in your current spot.
No, I have a fan.
Gotcha.
No, our homes here are generally. Well, to be fair, it's our summer at best. This will be a hot country at most for 2 months a year.
No.
And what do you consider?
No.
What do you consider hot, Tom?
I have a follow-up for that, Gary. Hold on.
No.
This is very PG. Trust me.
No, you already went down the wrong road already.
Trust me,
Gary. You already went down the wrong road already.
No,
you actually engaged. That's where you went wrong.
I can explain this. Well,
you can't explain it. It's nasty.
No,
it's brownie.
he makes shorts for his YouTube shorts.
I don't want to know what he makes. You can call it longs, shorts, mediums. I don't know. I don't know.
Mediums. Well, if it is the sort of movies that I think he's implying, they might be a TikTok. I don't know.
You know what? Whatever you want to do, if you talk, you know, you can do whatever you want.
With your talk, did you say?
Yes.
This guy, I deployed to this guy in 2012 to Cuba, and this is what he would do on his weekends. He would take the characters out to the beach and take his camera and make a movie.
That's
I'm not
incredible.
making this up. I wish I was.
That's amazing.
But dude, even better, your dog tags, they allowed to put what religion you are. He put Jedi on the back of it, and they would not make a new dog tag for him in Gulfport because they were like, we don't recognize that religion. This was 2012, by the way. But
I heard on the US Census it was recognized as a religion.
it is probably now, but in 2012, like they were like, no, dude.
It's amazing the power of nerds.
And in fact, Robot Chicken was his legit favorite show.
Brownie said he's innocent.
Brownie's not innocent on the videos that he would send Sam.
You know what? That's where I wanted you to not even. That's why I'm saying let's move on.
Okay, so Gary, what do you have planned for this week? I know I think you said you had a youngin that was graduated from school. What was what's your plan for this week?
This week, graduation's tomorrow, so
Okay,
doing that. Yes,
awesome.
doing that, and then we get Wednesday off, of course. So
Nice.
there you
Same
go.
here.
And then
Where's
I have
she
to go back to
going
work on
off to
Thursday.
college at?
So you got work
And,
Thursday. Any
yeah, work
plans
on
for
Thursday.
Wednesday day off? Any plans?
I haven't thought that far ahead yet.
Hmm.
I haven't thought that far ahead yet. Supposed to, I might meet a friend from college in the city, so I don't know if that's Wednesday or Thursday. So there you go.
What are you to do with no kids in the house, Gary?
Relax. Probably put out some more shows, right?
Not to downsize your house or anything?
We looked into that. It doesn't there's no benefit unless you move out of the state.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like
Because
Yeah.
houses are just now starting to finally go down.
No.
everything costs lots more. So whatever you're paying a mortgage for the last, whatever 10 years, you can rent for the same price. It's like there's no benefit. Not enough benefit anyways.
And interest rates are ridiculous too. So
Yeah. I don't know if I would want to buy a house anymore anyways. You got to maintain it and all that stuff. So, I mean, renting would be cooler, but not at these prices.
People in New York.
Yeah, I will actually, not Brownie Biggs, I'll be away for most of those days. So, I don't know.
Send him back to him. Brilliant. So,
You know what? Yeah, no, Brownie, don't even stop. No, we don't. Nobody wants him. Nobody wants him.
so
Brownie's got tapes. He's got the VH tape. He's got the VH tapes. It's like, nah,
Did
sorry.
you- 8mm?
Did you listen to the previous parts of the show?
Did what?
Did you listen in to the previous?
I shouldn't, and I didn't. So there you go. Is that why Alonzo left? Did he say something I'm not gonna like? No, seriously, where did he go? What did I
He
do?
had his TV on, and Tom said somebody's gonna be in trouble if Gary shows up.
maybe the aliens.
Somehow.
No, all I'm saying is that TV was getting louder and louder. So I pointed out that
It was
it's
Tony's
not
TV.
I pointed out, I didn't care whose TV it was. I pointed out it's not my show, but you're disrespecting the person whose show it is.
Yeah.
That was it. I made a point of not saying I don't know.
Yeah, Brownie was defending it, Gary. With all jokes aside.
Yeah.
Brownie talked about the videos that he made. That's all I'm saying. And I really didn't want to go down that road. I didn't catch the other part. But thank you, Brownie.
I mean,
and you're innocent. Okay.
So,
we got to
no
give
one
him the
ever said
benefit
he's
of the
innocent.
doubt, right? Our great friends in the country of Wales, right?
Oh, yeah, you might be talking about a specific thing. I'm just thinking in general.
Maybe. I'm just waffling. Now we talked about how do you want to describe it, Tom? It wasn't anything bad.
I think that it was just mainly discussions about fandom in football and football culture.
Yeah,
And
sports washing,
some sports washing, some social culture things.
Thank you,
in
Brownie.
In my opinion, nothing outrageous.
Yeah.
Hell, you might go back and actually enjoy the conversation and be mad you missed out on it.
Yeah. So nobody thinks you guys. I think you guys already said you don't think Belgium's going to struggle, right?
No. All right. So who's in Belgium's crew? Just remind me.
It's Romania and Ukraine, isn't it?
Yeah, and they both have.
I think Ukraine's in big trouble.
Yeah.
I didn't expect Romania to beat them 3-0. I think that's because again, you could look at today and say Belgium could have probably put 3 or 4 in there. It's kind of like
well, here's what I thought about the Belgium game. I kind of felt like Trossard didn't do a good job in that first 30 minutes. He should have at least scored or gotten an assist to Lukaku.
Yeah,
he did none of that, and I think he should have went to Lukaku early and often in that first 30 minutes. Because Doku was doing really good attacking that side.
I've actually had the polar opposite opinion of him.
Doku actually was punishing them up the right hand side defensively. Yes, that was a terrible pass on the back line, but attacking forward, if you remember, he puts the cross in. It goes to Trossard, and Trossard had a wide open Lukaku there and decided to take the shot.
I just think his final third product today wasn't the best. His decision making in the final third.
I'm just telling you what he did, I mean, of course, it resulted in nothing because Trossard, I think, got a little. It seemed to me got a little greedy. You have a striker, give the ball to the striker. From where he took it from outside the 18, I think. All right.
Look at BX's comment. Doku is
He's not a scorer, so if you expect him to score, then that's where I think you guys are looking at it all wrong. If you expect him to shoot and score, then yeah. But if you liked what Saka did, then you would have liked what Doku did because they were doing the exact same thing and punishing that left fullback. That's what he was doing.
I like
and
Saka.
He put in many more crosses than Saka did. And then that first 30 minutes. So like I said, that's what I saw. Maybe I saw a different game. But yeah.
Well, to be fair, Gary, you've had multiple political leaders on this show today.
Multiple political leaders.
Multiple political leaders made it onto
Doesn't sound good. Doesn't sound good at all.
It sounds fantastic.
Doesn't sound good at all. Jeez.
But in all seriousness, like I'm interested in how, like, the result between Ukraine and Romania is seen as this big shock, and it's like, why was it a big shock? What, because you want Ukraine to win? Not you personally. I mean, look,
I don't think it's that you want Ukraine to win, but I think there are levels to this thing, and we always thought. I mean, I don't think people thought that Ukraine was a 3-goal, dog to Romania. I don't think anybody could have seen that. I mean, I know some people said that, but I think that was a little tongue in cheek. I don't think they, put their house on it.
Social emotion took over to everyone wanted Ukraine to win because they're in a war or an invasion or something like that.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I don't think if that's okay. I don't know what that means.
It's unfair. I'm not putting words in all your mouth, so I'm not saying yous have done this. I'm just saying it's the way people are like, oh, that was shocking. Like because Ukraine, like for example, in betting terms, Ukraine were the favourites to win that match.
Yeah.
But based on what was more my question, because neither of them do well in international tournaments generally. So just interested me in that I suppose that way because it made for a better narrative if Ukraine won. I suspect.
I don't think. I mean, I hear you on the narrative part. I think it's for me. It was more about the football part.
The Romania goal was lovely. The first goal was amazing. To be
Yeah.
fair, the second goal, I believe, disappointing from the goalkeeper's point of view. Should never be getting beaten. The ball should never go under the goalkeeper from distance.
I'm going to
Put it
say
on.
that his defender didn't help him out in that situation, if I recall, because I think it pops out like his defender is basically right in the way. So when that ball comes out, he doesn't even see it coming like until it's too late. But you know, because initially when I saw it, I said, "Why is this defender just like getting in his way?" And then when you see where the angle that comes out of it comes from behind, it comes out from behind the goal from the defender that was there. So I mean, that's just it's bad football in general all around. But
Mhm.
you know,
But other than that, I thought Romania were worth their win. Basically, Ukraine were attacking. Ukraine were on top until Newcastle. Sorry, until Ukraine were on top until Why do I keep saying Newcastle? They don't even wear the same kit, colours or anything. Until Romania scored, and then it just turned. The game just turned on its head. Which is
yep,
why, at most levels of football, if you do not take your chances when you are on top of a game, the other team will.
yep. That's why Belgium should have been up in the first 30 minutes. That was their time to take control of the game. They didn't do it, and they paid.
My
I mean,
issue with
the
this
difference
tournament,
between the Belgium game and the England game is England scored in the early part of the game, and Belgium didn't.
Yep, that's fair. That's very fair, Gary. And then, like, as much as you can sit there and like people go, "Oh, I was disappointed with England," like England not taking the game to them more in the latter stages, I still didn't feel like Serbia were going to score. I watched the end of the game, so I sat there watching. It's like, no, England are going to see this out, and I don't mean to say that arrogantly. It just felt like Serbia were very all bark and no bite. It was like, when are one of you actually going to take a shot on England?
Especially
Like
when
you're trying to
Mitrovic
walk.
rolled out.
Sorry.
Especially when Mitrovic was taken off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Belgium.
Yeah, well, that's the problem though, because England basically struggled against Serbia, right? And so is it true Serbia is the worst of the lower of the four teams in the group? Who else do they play?
You've got Denmark and Poland. Yeah, they probably be
Yeah, no, Denmark and Poland I think are better teams than Serbia.
Yeah,
because think about it, if what's his name plays for Poland, because I don't think he even played in the last game. They might be saving him for the England game. The striker, right? Or is he out?
Well, Poland ain't in England's group, so they played
Okay,
the
so
Netherlands.
that's why I was saying who's in the group. Somebody said Poland.
Yeah, I said Slovakia or Slovenia. Sorry,
Slovenia. Oh, okay. Sesko. Okay. Oh yeah. And I mean, I think Denmark will pose a bigger threat than Serbia, and Slovenia should be equal to Serbia, but they've got a Sesko, so they might. The way that they played, a Sesko actually looked pretty good.
England will pick up all 9 points. England will pick up all 9 points. Not a doubt in my mind. Just not a doubt in my mind. And you're already up. You beat somebody that 2 other teams in your group drew. You're already 2 points ahead of everybody else.
But Gary's hit on a good point here. I am very worried about Poland.
Don't you know what happens when you mention Poland, Tom?
I'm very worried about Poland because, let's be real, the tournament is in Germany.
Jesus. Oh, hold on.
I'm worried about, like, we need to do a head count on the squad. Like, are they going to get out?
Yeah, Germany looks
Is
like
that-
a real good squad, man. Germany looks really good.
No escape, Tom.
Yeah. Like I said though, I feel like Serbia was the game that you get to check the level of an England squad, and it don't look good. So Slovenia and Denmark will pose a bigger threat, I think.
But I think I said this to Tom. If England doesn't win 6-0 every game, it's a failure. Period.
I don't know about that, but they need to dominate the game, and you know what I mean? Like if they win 1-0, but they dominate and they have like 20 shots on goal, 10 on target kind of thing, then it was a poor shooting night. But they're not doing that. So for
the
me,
irony is,
yeah.
sorry. I thought you
Yeah,
finished.
go ahead.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
No, you're fine. I'm just gonna say nonsense anyway.
No. So that's my take on where England should be against like a team like Serbia, right? I mean, you can't. For me, I just don't get like you have Foden, Kane, Saka, Bellingham, and that's all of the attack you can muster. I think something's not right about that. Something's not right about that. I don't know what you guys think, but I think that's poor. Because think about it, their defense is not good. England's, all right, and Denmark, I think, poses more of a threat. And Slovenia and Denmark, did they draw?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Oh yeah. Sorry. Yeah. One
Dude, everything you guys are second guessing me on everything. So
Listen to
yeah,
Tom.
And I said yes.
yeah, no, but Spencer's going at me.
I'm not going at you. Gary, I'm here for the trip.
Spencer's trying to make Gary slip up here.
No, he's trying to catch me out, man. And I'm thinking, damn it, did I miss that?
I did hear a commentator say today, "Oh, this guy went to Florida or something." He said one of the smaller schools in the States, and I was like, oh.
One of the smallest schools in the
I was
States.
like, all right. It's funny what people's perceptions are of things, right?
Yeah, I don't know how that is. I mean, wow.
Dude,
Okay.
I just heard it. I was like, what? I didn't agree with it.
Well,
I just thought it was funny.
I wonder how that does break down because South Florida is Central Florida. That's the biggest.
Yeah, UCF is the biggest, but yeah, I think
Are you talking about student population? Is that what you're thinking of?
Yeah, student
got the
population.
Yeah, but they're not like I don't know if that's all full-time students. You know what I mean? Same thing with like USF is supposed to be a really big school, but it's not full-time students. You know. So
45,000 is still a shitload of students. So.
no, I'm just saying I don't know if they're all full-time though.
It's like Liberty up here,
like community, like a lot of community, commuter students and stuff like that they don't like take a full load and stuff like that. I'm not sure if that's the case anymore, but that's what it was back when I, years after I finished.
Like
what is that?
I went to Liberty. They had 96,000 people enrolled. So,
96,000 people what?
Enrolled.
Yeah.
I don't know how many actually go to school there. They play D1 football, so I don't know. Whatever.
Is that a player that's linked with Arsenal by any chance?
What?
Is this a player that is linked with Arsenal by any chance?
I have no clue who that is. I don't even know how to pronounce that. I
would not waste my time watching players that Leeds are linked with at an international tournament. Because if it turns out you didn't get them, you just wasted your day. I mean, I'd probably watch it anyway. But it's not the point.
Well, will Ronaldo actually start? He'll start tomorrow?
Yes, I would say so.
Okay.
But do I think he starts every game in the tournament? No.
Yeah, I don't think they need him to if they play. I mean, they've got more than enough talent to win the first two games and then let him rest.
Just minutes.
But yeah, I mean, think about that. Think about how good of a wild card that is on the bench to bring off is Ronaldo. You need a goal. There's people talking. I think the broadcast is saying that Portugal is one of the favorites for the tournament.
Well, they've got a really talented squad, right? You look at their look at who they played without Ronaldo in the last whatever tune-up or whatever. They had every player like, oh yeah, I know him, I know him, I know him, I know him, right? I don't know, like Serbia, you know.
Like, I can't name a Premier League player on Romania's squad, and I probably know one. I just don't know.
Yeah.
So that's why for me,
I think that better player, if I recall, the one that scored. I think he actually plays in the Saudi league, if I recall them saying that on the broadcast. The guy who scored the first goal, I think.
That's disappointing. There's only 2 games tomorrow. That's disappointing.
I remember Arsenal was linked to one at one time. Dragunov.
Gavin?
No, not related. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe related.
So long-time viewer of the show, Holly, has asked, what about tomorrow's games? Tomorrow's games being Turkey versus Georgia, and then Portugal versus the Czech Republic. Who do you like?
Is that games? Czech Republic still, or is it Czechia?
It's Czechia. But
yeah, I don't. When did they lose? When did they lose the Republic? I'm not an Eastern European political expert, but I'm like, when did
I don't know when the Siths overthrew the Republic? I don't know. But
I'm going to say Turkey beats Georgia. Georgia's probably the lowest.
It was in the 90s, Spencer.
Do what?
In the 90s.
Yeah, Yugoslavia. You got to go back to that. But so Turkey or Georgia. I mean, if this was rugby, I would favor Georgia, but it's not. So sorry, Georgia.
I'll tell you something interesting. In 1996, Czech Republic beat Portugal. I know that's not relevant to now.
They play tomorrow.
I think they said at some point the best international, but one of the best international teams would have been Yugoslavia, if I recall.
It should be. It was a massive country.
Yeah.
Huge. But yeah. So, and they broke up in. I wonder what 2 countries they broke up into.
Czechia and Slovakia.
Yeah, that was a joke. Yeah, that was a
Good
joke.
job.
It was obvious.
Made me laugh.
Obviously, it was just like you could put a line after the O and the S.
But didn't that guy you showed earlier? He tried to annex. Never mind. Sorry.
Oh, what you mean? What you mean? The political figure in the second meme?
Yes, that guy. I believe that was given up as appeasement.
Yeah. I might have to go soon, but I'm still here for a bit.
Where are you at now? Are you at a hotel?
I'm in my house, just downstairs.
I was saying because I've seen that background before in other streams.
No, it's a different side of that room.
And I'm not used to you not having a hat on either, which is a new one. So
yeah.
So Gary always has a hat or a hoodie.
Yeah, the Arsenal hat and the scarves in the back.
Yeah.
Like,
no. This
Gary's
is the
hat, Rogers.
This is the on location look. You get no hat and whatever is behind me.
Well, I'm upstairs in the office tonight, so.
It's dark in the dungeon there.
It is.
Even Tony's trying to get in the dark there. Shows you.
Well, there we go.
Well, did you know Turkey is now called Turkey?
Sorry.
If I'm not mistaken, Turkey used to be called the Ottoman Empire. I could be wrong.
Sure.
It did. I took it over in Assassin's Creed 2.
Was that
Sorry,
Assassin's
I meant to
Creed
say that was one of the Assassin's Creed games.
Sure wasn't
might have been Brotherhood.
What other countries did they have though besides Turkey?
I think that was it.
Would have been Greece, maybe. Constantinople.
Constantinople.
Yeah, that's the one. 4 countries from the 80s and 90s are now 25 countries, and people still think qualification is as strong as ever. There's now 24 far weaker countries, with Croatia being the only improved one. I will not have slander against my beloved Lithuania.
Yep. Azerbaijan.
Is that why they broke them up? Because Europe was
Well, you got to go
some
back.
of the European countries were a little concerned that they might lose their dominance in the sport.
Well, really, what it came down to is more gates. So, like, what they did is they were like, we can play more games. I'm just kidding. Nah. It had nothing to do with the fact the Soviet Union fell in the 90s, but no. It's just...
I heard that.
Am I going to heaven? What's going on here?
What is up with the lights at Tony's place?
That's what I want to know.
I thought his nipples were emitting energy.
It looked like something crazy's going on there. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was like those lifesavers. Oop.
East Germany, Czechoslovakia, Yugoslavia, and USSR. I don't know why I read like that, but just makes me think of Ivan Drago, really.
Mm.
Yeah.
The
Or
real
their
hero of Rocky 4.
Their lack of involvement in the FIFA games.
Oh yeah, that was the other thing we talked about, how they took Russia out of FIFA.
Well, no, like here's the funny part about it, Gary. So like this is why it made me laugh and made me a little bit irritated. So they released the one game, I think it was 22 or 21. Then the conflict happened, and then they did an update to remove them from the game you already purchased, which was like, what? I never played as the RPL or Russia, but it was like this was in the base game. I can understand take it out of FIFA 23.
Imagine if they took the Miami Heat out of NBA.
Imagine if you're living in Russia and bought the game.
Well, you can't. I know a dude right now that's in Estonia, and I think he's military. I think he's in the rugby Discord.
As everyone you know is.
Well, yeah, I'm a rugby fiend. Brownie's the only other person that cares about rugby. Apparently, it's just me and him. But anyway, so he sometimes has issues downloading games because they think he's in Russia because he's so close to the border.
Oh.
Yeah, so needless to say.
Does he have to like say pretty please?
Well, he's got a VPN somewhere else or something. I don't know.
Ah, I see. But yeah, I think it's a grandstanding on their part. It's like, what message are you sending by doing that?
I mean, if they wanted to remove him, do it. I just thought it was really odd that the game you'd already purchased and we've already had it for 7 months. Yes. You're like, hey, that just was weird.
It's like, who are you trying to appease though by doing that? Like more, and I'm not even saying it like I'm not going to come out and go woke or anything like that. It's just like, as you say, like you've done it mid-season.
Do you imagine like EA was like, hey, should we do this? And someone's like, I don't know if we should do this. Well, do you think it might be a good idea? We might see a bump in our stock price. We don't know. We might see a degrading if we don't do it. Like there was, can you imagine the board meeting to have that discussion?
Yeah, it might make us look really progressive though if we do.
Yes, we should do this. But then there's that one guy that's like, I like the RPL. This is the bear logo. I like it. Blah, 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 blah. Why can't we have it? And they're like, you're fired.
Some women always choose the bear.
This is what we've learned this year. 2024 is the year of the bear. This is what you miss, Gary. This is what you miss.
I guess so.
Gary looks so disappointed that he missed this.
Yeah, dude, I'm crying over here on the inside.
And I'm listening to Smokey. Listen to Smokey Bear with a female voice now. Wait.
I'm not sure what that means.
Fires. There was a female talking as the bear.
What?
He's always been a male.
Can somebody translate that for me? What he just said, Mr. Tom?
Okay, let me have an attempt at this. Something awkward, something creepy, 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 awkward, awkward, something awkward, bear.
Got it. All right. You're blocked, Tony.
The forest,
Only response I got. I don't know.
the forest fighting bear showed up. Now he has a
Oh,
feeling
I
all the way.
understood that.
You're
Only
fighting
you
forest
can prevent
fires?
forest
What?
fires. Yeah. Only you.
Ah, all right. I know that one.
Who can prevent forest fires? You have selected you, referring to me, when the answer is me, referring to
Okay.
you.
Here, Tony. Here, what's your favorite bear? Shoney Bear or Smokey the Bear?
Barney.
He's not a bear.
Oh, he's a dinosaur, isn't he?
Yeah.
What about the Care Bears?
What, Yogi? Yogi?
No, you had
Yeah.
Smokey the Bear, and then Shoney's used to have a bear they sold. So Shoney's and Smokey the Bear, and you could put Care Bears in there.
What
I'm
about
just
the bear in the movie Semi-Pro, who actually killed one of the stunt doubles for Will Ferrell? I mean, that's a committed bear, right?
I don't think I should have brought this up. This is my fault. At this point, I'll go ahead and mute myself and time out.
Why is he muting himself? What did he say?
Something about this bear conversation.
He's self-policing because he brought it up, the bear thing.
Yeah.
What about
Shoney's? I enjoyed Shoney's. It was or you can eat breakfast. That's what I went there for, anyways.
I went there
Oh,
to
who?
I went there to sober up about 3 o'clock in the morning. So, sometimes I had 2 breakfasts. So
That's like a
Yeah,
perfect
Perkins, if I remember right, Perkins, we used to go to in Florida. It was an all-you-can-eat as well. So,
not here.
I remember
Not
Shoney's. We'd get off of a 12-hour shift at the prison, and then if we knew we were going to be off for the next couple of days, we'd go to Shoney's meal. Not every, but it was, man, it was good. It was good.
And they had like a nice variety of stuff too.
I just love to grab as much bacon as humanly possible, like a Ron Swanson meme, and just eat bacon.
Bacon was good. Yeah, you can make any kind of bacon you wanted with the pancakes, with the waffles, with the eggs. Just oof. Yeah.
I like putting maple syrup on. I'd never do it outside of a breakfast situation, but I enjoy, like the McDonald's sausage patties. That
it's great. It's great with syrup. Great with
I'll
syrup.
put the syrup on top of that. I'll put the McDonald's pancake syrup on top of bacon.
Eggs.
Well, let's not go nuts, but bacon. Bacon. Just one universal. I was about to say who hates bacon, but then someone who we discussed earlier would definitely hate bacon.
Holly hates bacon. I'm just kidding. I don't know.
I meant more the sports washing.
Oh yeah. I'm picking up what you're putting down.
You ever seen? There's a joke. I'll try to find it after I said it to you, but I can't. But it was basically name what the biggest crime is out of these things, and it's things like stoning people to death, disrespecting your wife. There was a third one, I can't remember what it is, but it's not the answer, so it's not relevant. And then eating bacon. And obviously the correct answer to Sheikh Mansour was eating bacon.
Oh.
He answered it as if to go, fuck my wife. Not literally, obviously, because then I'll have to stone her and then do the other thing. But you can shake your head. That was brilliant. That was
good.
That was a chain. That was a chain, man. But still.
I'll probably tell my boss that tomorrow.
I'm sorry, Gary, but I'm not that sorry because
Tom was pretty well behaved.
Turkey bacon. Turkey bacon. Turkey bacon?
Yeah.
actually makes sense because Subway in England sells turkey ham
Mm.
because they can't sell real ham because then they would alienate most of their what's the word, Islam customer base.
Yeah, I can get that. I get that, but turkey bacon.
It does taste like ham though, to be fair.
Yeah, the chemicals can do that for you.
I always
Assuming it's the
hated
same.
getting that sausage that had like turkey. It'd be like turkey, beef, and pork. It's like, just give me the pig.
What's Liv Morgan up to at the moment, Tony?
Yeah, what's she doing?
She was on just a second ago. I didn't pay attention to what she did.
I'm shading things together again, Spencer. I couldn't help it.
Oh no.
Couldn't help it. But no, seriously, okay. I'm probably gonna pass out soon due to the fact that it's nearly 3 a.m. But
Yeah.
I've been at work today, guys. It's I was up early. But what's Canadian bacon? Is that the circular bacon?
I think it's ham.
It's ham, but it's circular. Most people they'll cook it like it's like bacon, but it doesn't taste like bacon. It's just
Do you have
little
gammon?
circle.
Do you have gammon there? Like gammon steaks?
Oh,
But
what
again,
that
it's
is?
like ham, but you cook it.
Looks like ham
that's
sticks. I
true.
don't think so.
Here we call it gammon, but although it's a food item, it's become a slang for a certain type of individual. In the political
Is it like
spectrum.
spam?
Gammon?
Well,
Like
no,
spam?
a gammon person is a Caucasian individual that gets really upset.
I
at
want to know what the
certain
fucking
political
food
things,
is.
and then they turn red like a gammon.
How do you
What's a
spell
gammon?
GAMNON.
Never heard of that.
MMO. It's surprising. It's quite tasty, to be fair to it. But,
Yeah.
But anyway,
Scrapple
so
is great.
Food corner.
I've heard of scrapple, but no.
That looks pretty yummy.
That's gammon?
Is that gammon,
What
Tony? Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Looks just like ham.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're meant to cook it once you have it. Like some hams will obviously. It's definitely not
Pre-cooked.
spam. No, because you don't get it in a tin.
Yeah.
Like,
Get it back.
That just looks like regular ham, dude.
It's got a pretty good. It's got a pretty good crust on it. At least this one does.
Yeah. You cook it after you get it. So, to my understanding,
Yeah.
I've always found it interesting, like how toast was invented. Like, who was eating bread and then thought, you know what? I'll cook it a second time.
Sure. Yeah, basically, I don't know about scrapple, but we have something called Taylor ham over here. It's probably the same stuff.
Strictly speaking, a gammon is the bottom end of a whole side of bacon, which includes the back leg. Ham is just the back leg, curved on its own. So it's part bacon. So that's why it's good.
This is how I definitely know that Gary's channel will not be purchased by Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, we talk too much about bacon.
Yeah.
Bacon-like products.
I'm protecting your interests, Gary.
I wasn't really in the market to be sold.
Is that why we don't talk about bacon on
Tony, you're on the channel, dude.
Full Nelson?
Take that for what it is, what it means. Tony.
Fuck you, Gary.
Yeah. See? There you go. We're on the same page. You know what I'm talking about.
I love it.
Not sure why Gary keeps me around, but only Gary knows.
Yeah. You see. We've had I enjoy having you around, Tony. We have our good and bad days. So
I prefer the days when
I
Tony
like how I
doesn't
told
send
you
me
this shut the
700
fuck up
things on
like
Twitter, but still. What?
like 4 times in like 5 weeks. I've told Gary to shut the fuck up.
Did Drew McIntyre quit WWE?
No,
Okay.
all right.
So has
Oh.
my QR code thing ended?
Oh, but you're gonna enjoy going through Twitter tonight, Tom.
Okay.
it's supposed to end sometime today, Tom.
I'm gonna let you guys go. You
It's
can
good
close
seeing
out
you.
the show. But Mr.
Put it
Tom,
up, Tom.
Tony,
Let's
Spencer,
see if I can stand
I
it.
say Lonzo, but he
Have a
left
good
me.
night, Gary. Yeah, I
You
have
guys-
no idea what's going on with him. So
I'm ready, Tom.
Yeah, it's good seeing you, Gary. Sorry I wasn't able to make it this weekend. I was doing out stuff with the family. So
No problem. No problem. It's the summer. It's the summertime. I'm gonna be in and out of the the shows as well. So
the
Yeah, how
conversation
Mr.
you
Tom.
fast
had
do you
on
expect me to be, Tom?
Tony, hold on a second. The conversation y'all were having on Saturday was pretty. I watched it a little bit later on Saturday night when I got home. So happy Father Days to you, and
Yep. Same to you, sir.
Yep.
All right. See you guys later. Have a good one. I guess
have a
you're
good
back on,
night,
right?
Gary.
You're back on Thursday, Mr. Tom.
I am, but
Cool.
just bear with me. I'm gonna stick. Could do what you do. Hang on. How does this work? That's it. All right. I'll just put Gary in the hot seat.
All right, people. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you guys on the next one. And I'm out. Thank you, Mr. Tom, Tony, and Spencer, Lonzo for holding it down. Everybody in the chat, enjoy, and I'll talk to you guys on the next one. I'm out. I'm about to close out here so you can. There you go. See you.
And just like that, he was gone. Usual suspects, 1995. So it seems we've come to the end of another Monday night.
He did say that. I don't think he did do that, Tom. Spencer.
what's up?
I said he did say he quit the company.
Where are you going to be at this week, Tony?
Be on Tom's show.
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma.
Sorry, it's a joke.
All right, so I think it's that time of the week where we do the things and we say our goodbyes to the audience. Thousands of people in the audience tonight.
Mm-hmm. You're forgetting the most important part, Tom.
Explain.
He's about to say crisp.
You don't
What
want to see
happens
them
when you take a
crisps.
potato and fry it, Tom? For taste.
You don't want crisps. You don't want crisps. Come on now. I have them, but you're just going to complain that they're the same ones that I usually buy. Because buying crisps that I know I'm not going to like seems a bit counterproductive.
Are they walkers or are they Lays? You have
No,
a
they
problem.
are.
Sometimes when you go to Lays.
No, they are Crunchips.
Oh, chips.
Kebab flavored Crunchips.
How do you get that
Tastes rather
savory? How do you get a savory meat taste and crisp?
Just tastes like beef, really. To be fair.
Sorry.
But anyway, so obviously I'll put Spencer in the hot seat so he can say his goodbyes and plug his stuff.
You want to say goodbye to the people in my car? Say goodbye to the people. We will see you hopefully Thursday. Full Nelson, if I'm still invited. and potentially Saturday. Everybody enjoy the rest of your week. I know the Euros are coming fast and thin, so it's actually really a blessing to have them. So we don't have to sit here and talk about transfer rumors. There's nothing more boring than actual transfer rumors that aren't going to happen. But yeah, thanks for having me on, Tom. Thanks for having me on, Gary and Tony. Alonzo, it's good seeing you. I'm sorry about Martin Truex retiring, but we will catch you guys on the next one.
That's
And-
why I wanted to ask Alonzo. Is like, who's he to support now? How is he to pick his next driver?
He's a
Wait,
free
who's
agent.
retiring?
Martin Truex Jr. is retiring at
What,
the end of the
the-
year. Yeah, he's out. He's
Oh
on
my
the.
god.
Yeah, it's a new era.
Alonzo's will be devastated for the next 5 years.
He'll be
That
all
might
right.
explain why. 5 years, that's a bit much.
Well, when the driver I liked retired, I hadn't picked one up since then, so it's all good. I just watch it just to watch it at this point. It's a lot more enjoyable. He might enjoy that.
Well, Tony, promote your shit.
Well, you can come join me, Tom, and Spencer on our 1 hour Ironman rush Thursday on the Full Nelson. Might join Ray if he does a show Thursday. And that's pretty much it.
Okay. I appreciate that. Look who's back. Look who's back for the end.
He just say who his next driver's gonna be.
Yeah, Alonso, who's your next favourite driver going to be? Your man's retiring. What's going on?
I'm not sure. There's a couple of people who I have in mind. Right now I'm leaning towards Tyler Reddick, number 45 of 2011, who is co-owned by Michael Jordan. He says he wants to race more, but not on a full-time basis. So, yeah. But right now, I really don't know who's going to be my favorite now to take over as my favorite.
Okay. Okay, so I appreciate that. I'm going to make us all normal again. So all I'm going to say is thank you to everyone that has given their time to the show. Thank you to Brownie, to Holly, to BX Gunner, the Arsenal Misfit, who I believe may or may not still be listening in. But again, thank you for your time. Who else? Colonel Ward was in here with his unique stylings. We had the Arsenal Truex Galaxy podcast with a anatomy lesson on
Don't waste
looking
the
at
trip.
one where he did diverticulitis. Yeah, but obviously I hope you're feeling better physically.
00
of course.
slice X.
And yeah, oh, that's very good. Yeah, 00 slice
Miss
X.
Molina as well came by.
Yep.
So what do you have to do, Alonzo? Avoid seeds and nuts, basically?
Well, so I don't know what caused it this time around because I don't eat nuts nor do I eat seeds. So maybe I was just eating too much red meat kind of stuff. But yeah, it's just one of those. It runs my family too, so no, how I didn't have the food. Right. So sometimes it just happens to where my diet really. I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain. But yeah, basically, I had to change my diet for a little bit just to calm myself down. Like I said, it runs my family, so kind of sucks, but it hurts. It's painful.
Okay, so my sympathy. It doesn't sound fun, okay, but I suppose before we go, because to be fair, we were on the way out because it's 3 a.m. here now. You know, I've got to go count sheep to try and get sleep. But anyway, right? So I suppose the last question, as usual, will go to Tony. Tony, who do you think should replace Martin Truex Jr.?
No one.
Danica Patrick. Woohoo!
Do you have an opinion on Danica Patrick, Tony?
She was okay.